Hey guys, Micah from Black Bear Custom Kydex. I've got a fun sheath for you today. This guy is for a half face blades. I'm sorry I don't know the model. Maybe Jonathan, my client, can comment down below and let us all know. It's a beautiful knife. So Jonathan has a company called Rebellion Customs. I'm going to link his Instagram page in the description box below. I'd love you guys to go check him out. He does incredible paintings. Some of his artwork is just absolutely breathtaking. So you guys need to go check him out. He's out in the Denver area. So he got in contact with me and asked if I could make him a Leather-Over-Kydex sheath. We've got a leather dangler. This is a Tech-Lock dangler clasp. I'm going to show you how that works in a second. And we have a Exotech Nano Striker XL down below. This is walnut brown leather dye all throughout the sheath. The sheath takes the dye a little bit darker than the dangler does. The reason is because the back side of this leather, first off, the leather is thin, so it doesn't absorb as deep as it would with a thicker dangler. And also because this leather is coated with adhesive on the backside to bond it to the Kydex. So it just tends to have a little more darkened up color to it, even with the same amount of dye. So, all right, we got that. This Nano Striker XL I did in True Hide Whip Kydex. So it's got kind of a leather pattern to it. I really love how True Hide Kydex looks against real leather. I think it's a beautiful effect, especially when you do color contrast. This is the black True Hide against brown leather, so that's really nice. We've got some tan stitching in it, and I think the brown and tan really kind of bring out all of the colors in these handle scales. I know the camera lighting isn't great right now, so I apologize for that, but hopefully you get the gist. So yeah, this thing just came out really nice. The Tech-Lock dangler clasp is something I came up with probably 2 years ago now. I just haven't done many of them, but the idea behind it obviously is that you have a sheath that carries on a Tech-Lock and that you can convert this to a dangler anytime you want. The only caveat here is depending on how you want to carry it on the Tech-Lock, it may not actually be just immediately compatible with the dangler. Obviously it needs to be set up so that the dangler can be, floated up parallel with the handle for it to actually be a functional dangler. If you have this set up for vertical carry, you're going to have to turn the Tech-Lock. So basically what I would recommend is, keep some kind of Phillips head screwdriver on you in the field, and you'd be able to do it. Leatherman would do just fine. I use Phillips head screws for all my hardware, so you'd be able to, it's just the most common thing. They're very easy to change. So yeah, basically when you need to, just make sure your Tech-Lock is on the back side of the sheath for horizontal carry, and then ideally your leather loop would be just on your belt already. You just wear this on your belt at all times, and when you need to, you can bring this right over to your Tech-Lock and just kind of close it in. See if I can get it on camera here for you. Just close it in. It should snap. Make sure you're not hitting the belt spacers like I just did. But it should close shut real easy. Lock that gate up down below. And what these, you can see the hardware and finish washers there. All that is, it's a stopper to keep the Kydex from being able to slide through the Tech-Lock and let go of the dangler. So yeah, that's really just there to function as a locking mechanism. So I use 0.125 inch thick Kydex, which means that you've got a 1/4 inch, because I've doubled it over, folding over the D-ring. So 1/4 inch, which is the exact width of the belt recess inside a Tech-Lock. So this is already a nice snug fit from floor to ceiling as you're looking at it like this. And then with these stoppers on it and this natural stopper of the D-ring bar there, you've got a really secure lock up there. It's not going to move around much. You can absolutely slide it side to side, and if you don't want it to slide side to side, maybe you just work with these Tech-Lock spacer bars in there. This might be the farthest over it can go. Let me just mess with that real quick. I'm going to move one of the spacer bars over. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I was able to move that over. You can kind of see it's, well, maybe you can't. Hold on, let me see if a flashlight would help any. The bar itself, that spacer bar, is kind of tilted. It's a little bit cramped in there, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. You don't really need to. You're not going to feel it drifting inside the tech lock. It doesn't do it unless you force it to anyway, so let me just move that back before I forget about it. So yeah, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all it is, and it's just kind of a convenient feature. And yeah, as always, you get a nice, not quite ballistic one-handed draw. Certainly is loose enough, not loose enough, but certainly has enough clearance to come right off. But at the same time, you've got excellent retention. This knife is not going to fall out on you. No rattle, no play. Smooth draw. So, all right, guys, that is all I have for you. I'd love your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think of the integral stitching. Integral stitching is basically, I mean, these are all just kind of terms I'm inventing, so I'm not sure. I've never seen anybody else do this before. I really, really like this. This is my favorite way to add stitching to Kydex. I can leave some leather hanging over the edge, and I can stitch through just the leather. Some people really like that look. I can even add a welt along the edge so that there's no width difference between where the Kydex ends and it's just leather. Or I can do what I call integral stitching. This is my favorite, where I actually drill all the way through the Kydex and the leather, and it still results in a nice seamless edge. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but basically the same thing you would expect from a regular Kydex sheath, where I melt the edge. I melt the two pieces together, the fold, whatever you want to call it. When you fold it over, you've got the two layers together. I melt those together with a belt sander so that it looks like one piece all the way around. It's a little bit stronger that way, and it just looks really nice and professional. So I'm able to keep that seamless edge even with the all these little micro holes drilled all the way through it. It can be difficult, and it's hard not to split the edge, but if you do it in the right order, you can get all that to stay together, and I just think it adds a lot to the look of a sheath. So I'm a huge fan, but I'd love your opinions down below. And anything else you want to comment on this Techlock dangler clasp? I really like that as a carry setup. Gives you a 2-in-1, which is very convenient. Looks cool, low profile, and yeah. All right, I'm rambling. I always ramble. It's my thing. Comment down below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in, and stick around for the next one. God bless.